some work. It is just not an imposing group on paper. Tetairoa McMillan, yeah, he may not be able to fly, but this guy's got an outstanding catch radius. I think he runs of his size and stature. He's got this volleyball background, so you see some verticality in his game, especially, unsurprisingly, in the red zone. You have somebody in CeeDee Lamb who can stretch the field. You don't need Tetairoa McMillan to be your 30, 35, 40-yard chunk play player. He can just feast in the intermediate passing game.
Love the pick. If you told Cowboys fans that you're going to get CeeDee Lamb and Drake London, would you take that? Because that's kind of what his game is like. Drake
London,
London,
be the copy
right?
here the most often for Tetairoa. Yeah,
ball skills are off the charts. He's kind of versatile. He's not just an outside guy. You can play him a little bit on the inside, and it's completely opposite of what CeeDee Lamb is as a talent-wise. And for me, it's the first guy, I think, since T.O. that goes to the Cowboys who has that big frame. They haven't really had a big frame. Michael Gallup briefly, but a big-framed wide receiver since then. And we've talked about it on our show a ton of just the small people that Dak has had to throw to over the past couple years. Look at these guys when it comes to the size and the history within the Cowboys organization. I love the pick, and I think the Cowboys, if this is the pick, will be sneakily better than people expect. I think this could be a good football team next season.
Absolutely. You pair him with CD, like you guys said, that's when Dak is probably at his best. I will push back and say, hey, you have Will Johnson going a pick later to the Miami Dolphins. You look at this Cowboys team, they just said that Trayvon Diggs may not be ready to start the season. You lost Jordan Lewis to the Jaguars. So you look at them defensively and at that cornerback spot, is there a chance that maybe they say, you know what, we may need to go get a corner to have opposite Deron Bland to know that we're going to be safe being able to cover some of these guys in this division?
These mock drafts tend to have lots of drafts in the mock drafts, and there was a draft that included Will Johnson going 12th to the Cowboys. I think the question the Cowboys are probably asking themselves at the cornerback spot specifically is that Matt Eberflus, who of course comes from Chicago, who ran the highest percentage of zone coverage snaps last year, it says, we're going to win with a rush up front. We can let that account for the secondary a little bit more, which is why they went out and traded for a guy like Kyer Elam, a guy who needs to be in a zone scheme system. So maybe they would say, we can get a corner a little bit later on in the draft that has a zone scheme fit that we can live with. We just can't find a wide receiver like T-Mac later past round 1 or 2.
All right, we got J-Mac over here fighting for the defensive guy. I hear you, J-Mac.
Draft doesn't pay us. Draft doesn't pay us.
Come on now.
The Cowboys throw the ball to.
The Cowboys defense did allow 7.9 yards per attempt last season. Only the Jaguars were worse. I'm on team J-Mac right now. Oh, there's just nobody quite like Mel, but maybe Field is like him more than we think. So look at this. Field is changing up his look. We like it, Field. It's a great look for you. This is now Mel Kiper Jr. Field, is this the plan? Oh, look at the side-by-side.
It is confirmed. Laura and my wife are kind of two peas in a pod here in the Connecticut area, and both of them have given it a resounding approval. So who am I to defy their fashion wisdom? And we're still deciding, is it Mel Kiper Jr. or just Mel Kiper III, which kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. Mel Kiper actual Jr.
Well, last time I had hair like that, Phil, was 1994. So you're a junior, a third, whatever you want to be, Pat. Because mine, as you can see, is Boomer would say, going, gone. So hang in there, pal. Keep it going. Keep yours going as long as you can.
You know what, Mel, give yourself some credit. Yours is still very much there. Field, I'm going to go with Jr. And yes, we do approve of this new look. It's a good one. Everybody likes it.
MKJ.
There you go. Hey,
That's
it's
a
all good by me. Yeah.
The quarterback questions are still going in Pittsburgh. Look at Field's latest mock with his great hair. He has the Steelers using that 21st pick to take quarterback Jaxson Dart. We'll get to that a little bit more. But the even bigger question still looming for the QB spot in Pittsburgh is, will Aaron Rodgers sign with them? Owner Art Rooney had this to say on the matter.
I would say it was a good sign that he wanted to do that, and we keep hearing that he's I guess headed in our direction, and so that seems to be, all signs are positive so far. I'd say we feel pretty good about it.
Are you content to wait?
Well, not forever, but a little while longer.
Ooh, Rooney's patience starting to wear a little thin maybe there. J-Mac, what's the ideal scenario for the Steelers QB room this offseason?
I mean, obviously, part of that is signing Aaron Rodgers. And then you look at what Phil just said, getting a guy like Jaxson Dart. For all the talk we've had about the Steelers all offseason, for their fans agonizing over the quarterback room, if you told me to start maybe mandatory minicamp, the fact that they could possibly have Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback and Jaxson Dart as a guy sitting behind him to learn, I would be fired up if I'm a Steelers fan and say, you know what, it was worth all of that to have this type of quarterback room. But drafting Jaxson Dart without getting Aaron Rodgers, it seems like they're just replaying what they already did with Kenny Pickett.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so Rodgers and Dart for Pitt, that would be ideal. Dan, we keep seeing Dart all over draft boards, but what's the scouting report actually on him? Let's
touch screen, Dan!
I'm a huge fan of Jaxson Dart. I think he's a top 10 pick. I think that when you watch his tape, I'm going to show you 2 clips. One clip I could sit here and point out to you guys, this is as good as it gets. This is against Florida, and I would sit here and go, this is #1 pick of the draft type stuff. And in this game, he was sensational. And then I'll show you a clip. You go, bring it back to the first one, okay? So you're going to see the back go in motion, and what you're going to get is quarters defense by Florida. Quarters defense is a zone-centric defense, and everyone's got a responsibility on the defense, okay? You have a quarter of the field as the corner, you have a quarter of the field as the safety, and then this defender has that flat area, all right? And then the play concept is beautiful by the offensive Ole Miss. They're going to lift with the post. That takes that corner out, okay? And then you have a corner route by that receiver, and the read for the quarterback is just that defender. If that defender gets depth, remember that back that went in motion? We kick the ball to the back. If that defender gets nosy or plays the back at all, then we get the chance to throw that ideal corner route, okay? Everyone pay attention to Jaxson Dart because you're going to see him manipulate that defender. I want you guys to pay attention to what he does. You see how he quickly and subtly, eyes on him, you're going to see him quickly and subtly just peek to the sideline to get that defender to jump up and throw the corner in time. Watch his eyes in his head, right? Now, bang, get that defender, and then look, that ball's coming out before the receivers, making his cut, and it's thrown absolutely perfect. This is as good as it gets. That's top 5 pick at that position, #1 quarterback spot. And then you go late in the game, and you watch him play, and you go, that looks like a completely different person. Very similar concept. We're going to get double posts up to the side. And I go, well, protection is nice and clean. And you're going to watch, you're going to get lifted coverage where these guys are going to run their defenders off. And here comes this big crossing route. Bang, Jaxson, make that throw. And you're going to watch a guy throw a ball and just completely into a team party where it's just forced. And you're going, how come you're throwing the ball with 4 defenders for Florida there instead of taking that wide open crosser route? I don't see you make those decisions consistently, not only in this game, but in the season. So there's one clip you sit there and go, if you're the Steelers, he ain't getting to 21. He's not going to when you watch him. And then you watch that late one. And if I was a team and I was bringing in Jaxson Dart for a visit or sitting down with him, that would be the one play I would want to watch first. Very first play would be the second play that I showed, the interception. And I would say, talk to me. Tell me what happened here because this is not who you've been on tape.
Decision-making was largely good for Jaxson Dart throughout the
I thought his decision-making was very good.
His accuracy is good. He's a good athlete as well. There's some mobility to Jaxson Dart that they didn't design a ton of quarterback runs for him in the way that we saw just a year ago Jayden Daniels run the football pretty much, it felt like, for 100 yards every game for LSU. But still, there's enough mobility there. You know, Jackson's such a fascinating case because both in my eyes and also the eyes of evaluators, the question just is, how much of an elevator is he relative to the 3 guys that we saw get taken 1, 2, 3 last year?
Can I answer that?
Sure,
because
yeah,
here's
your
my
eyes.
thing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of easy in his offense. I mean, that ball's